Okay, everybody. Welcome back to another 1 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim. And today we're going to be getting back into some more Pega certifications. We got some um, Unreal to go over, although I don't know if we're going to be doing um, I want to kind of talk with um, Blackheart about some things. So I might like maybe spend that hour just kind of talking to him about like other matters. Don't know if I'm really gonna record it or anything along those lines. So but obviously for those of you that are watching this for Pega, obviously you might not necessarily matter on that. Then we got some more videos to upload, and then we got Goat Simulator 3 later on tonight. So um, so yeah, that's kind of the um, that's kind of what's on the docket for today. Um, You'll have to excuse me. I'm currently like taking care of a few things before um, tomorrow's um, Thanksgiving. So um, I'll be with everybody in just a minute on this. Um, we're going to be covering um, a new topic today. So um, also, I want to kind of go over some of the emails that was sent to me before. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and bring those emails up because um, I want to kind of discuss them with you all and let you know of what I received. Um, so um, one of the things that I sent out a notification about how um, I was mentioning how I didn't have a um, discussion about the um, well, okay. So the problem was with a challenge. I did the grouping fields and views, where I said, so the problem with task 2, step 4 and 5 is that when you select the customer information section, the panel on the right is no longer showing all 4 sections. It focused on the customer information section. Now I know what I need to do to get back to other 3 sections to finish off task 2, but you might want to include steps just in case they aren't familiar with what is needed to get back without causing additional problems. And the person replied back, thank you for feedback on Pega Academy. In test 2, step 5, you click the configure this view icon, the pencil icon once, which shows the 4 sections in the right panel. First screenshot. We do not have a step that indicates that you should edit the customer information section. You are correct that if you did click the edit this section icon, the blue pencil icon, that the right panel would focus on the enter customer information section. Second screenshot. Um, um, so yeah, so because I selected the one edit over the other, um, it gave me a different section altogether. I believe that was the one where it kind of glitched out on me, if I remember correctly. Um, where I couldn't get into, like I clicked on it, it kind of aired out, and I had to, um, it took me a bit to try to get through, um, to find, like get back to that section and try it again and get it to work properly. At least if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, it seems like a reasonable response back from them about that. So I think I'll go ahead and kind of let that go for the most part. Now, um, so, um, I sent a reply back to them talking about, or concerning this one email. I sent, they basically said that you're not able to create your own design template in Dev Studio. We kind of discussed this in my last discussion on emails and so on and so forth. And I replied back to them saying, according to the topic, information and user interface, Pega platform provides out-of-the-box layout or design templates to use when creating views. You can apply an existing layout template to a view in both App Studio and Dev Studio, but only Dev Studio allows you to create an updated layout template. So according to that topic, you can create or change a design template unless the statement is incorrect, and the layout or design template can't be both. So that's what I sent back to them, and they replied back, "Thanks for pointing that sentence out. I overlooked it. I am forwarding this to my teammate to confirm that we cannot create or update layout templates, and then we will update the content." So, they replied back to me with that, and then they sent me a follow-up after that. Or no. Um, hmm, Actually, no, that wasn't. Um, oh, okay. Here's the follow-up. Um, um, right, because this was the first one that was sent to me, and then they did another follow-up back to me and said, I talked to my teammate and I was mistaken. In Dev Studio, you can create and update layout templates. When I took a second look at that knowledge check, the intent of the question was about OOTB design templates rather than custom ones. So I've updated the question to clarify that point in the 23 version of the content. So, um, what is the one advantage of using out-of-the-box design templates? So, okay. Um, and they showed me a screenshot of apparently the change there, although, um, are you saying the exact same thing though? It doesn't seem like they've changed this at all. Out of the box is the same thing as the layout templates, so I don't know. Okay. Um, I have a funny feeling that they really didn't change all that much on that one. Um, okay, so you know, and I'll have to worry about this matter later. Uh, sorry, I wanted to try to take care of a little too many things all at once, so I'll just have to come back to that maybe later on tonight. Okay. Let's see. I think we've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to kind of cover for the most part. Oop, I've shut down the my tab that I wanted to use for the Pega. That's unfortunate. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into this, shall we? All right. So, um, let's do this proper now. So what is these? What are these videos all about? Who am I? And, why am I making them? So on and so forth. Normally I do this at the very beginning of each video, but obviously I wanted to kind of cover some additional information first. I am a currently out of work, unemployed software developer whose last job was working with a Pega environment. I was kind of hoping that, you know, I could have a long-term job with it, with my last employer, but that didn't really work out. So, back on the market again, trying to find work. In the meantime, I'm trying to work on, getting my system architect certification. So, I might be able to get myself another job again in the Pega environment. But I have to get that certification. Um, you know, uh, I might be able to find a job out there that might be willing to sponsor me, till I get the certification, but mm, that is probably not very likely anymore. If at all, people want you to have all the skills possible, to get the job. Like every single last skill, every single last, tool. You need to know it backwards and forwards before you get hired. Forget about training. Forget about learning on the job. Nah, you need to have everything. You know, when you get, you know, at a job. I don't know why that particular mentality is why that mentality changed. Not sure what the heck is going on there, but yeah. So, um, you know what? Um, what can we do to try to resolve it? Well, um, you know, even though I didn't get it, even though I was, well, they presented us with an authorized training partner to train us on how to learn Pega. However, it really didn't go very well. Pretty much all of the team, me and my peers, were not uh, we're not really pleased with our authorized training partner at our last job when they were training us in Pega, and we all pretty much went self-study. The one and only time that I did take the Pega certification, I was forced to, and I was definitely not ready by that point. There was still a lot of academy for me to kind of look into, study, um, find all the information about, and so on and so forth. I knew that I wasn't ready, but they needed me to take it anyway. Um, uh, I failed the certification, which again I wasn't surprised about. It's just unfortunate that uh, I might still be employed if I actually had my certification. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. Um, I miss the I miss that marker, that borderline marker for certification by like 6 questions. So it was like, okay, well, not much I could really do about that. Um, so, but it's not exactly something to really aim for either. You know, I wouldn't really want to be someone that is kind of going for the bare minimum to for that. I wanted to know, Pega. If I was gonna be working in that particular field, I wanted to know what exactly I was doing. Um, I still kind of joined my other peers in that, we still kind of preferred more coding. Um, but if they were willing to pay me to learn Pega Academy, then I was willing to go through. I was willing to jump through those hoops. So, um, so now, for those of you that are watching these videos, I'm not an authorized training partner, and this is not meant to be an instructor-led training. I'm working on the certification much like anybody else, so you shouldn't consider me as such. Now, if you have questions, feel free to post them. Okay, feel free to ask questions, whether it's in the chat or it's in the comment section of these videos. I will do my best to answer them myself if I can. If I can't, then I will try to get one of my past coworkers to come on in and see, you know, if they know the answer for it. Or at least that's, you know, I've done it in the past. So if anybody is concerned or if you have questions, like I said, feel free to ask them because not only does that help yourself out, but it helps me and it helps anybody else that it comes along that has the same questions. Okay. Um, I ask questions all the time. Well, maybe not all the time, but I ask questions, you know, for certain subjects along for some of these topics, and I look forward to if any of you are professionals, maybe you work for Pega Academy, maybe you are a lead Pega developer or a manager or someone that has like 10 years of Pega experience, please feel free to go back through my other videos and see, what questions I'm asking and, if there's some way that you can, clarify so that it makes a little bit more understanding for me. And in so doing, you'll be helping out anybody else that might be coming along to that particular topic. So, um, you know, I look forward to those comments, constructive criticism and whatnot, on my videos. So, please, you know, feel free to comment. Um, Now, let's go into the dashboard here, and we're going to talk about the business architect. The business architect mission has been completed. I'm done with all that. I've done the 2 missions and the 2 modules for 8.7, prior. So, um, if you want to cover the business architect, then I would suggest that you go back through my previous videos. Start at the very beginning and go all the way through, all the way to the 2 modules, and um, learn all that you can. And again, ask questions if you have any. Okay. I would recommend, if you are indeed trying to go for the business architect certification, uh, go into the Pega Express delivery mission over here on the left-hand side. go through these 8 modules, learn all you can here, because I don't feel like these 2 modules covers the 12% that you need in order to take the certification test. So you're gonna need to tackle that. Okay, you're gonna. I would recommend that you tackle this mission, learn all you can before you attempt the business architect certification. So, but we're gonna continue with our system architect certification because that is where my interest is. You know, that's where I want to be. Um, all right, so we're displaying list data in views. Now remember, last time we did the challenge, um, or I clicked on this and I wanted to see, could I just go ahead, come down here at the bottom and, mark the challenge complete? Yes, I can. But I didn't do a single damn thing to warrant it. I didn't even start an instance of it. So, you know, they should have realized that and said, wait, you didn't even do the instance. How are you marking it complete? They should have realized that and they should have said no, but they didn't. So, you know, um, but we're going to go through the repeating dynamic layouts, the module quiz, and that's probably going to be it for today. I just need to remember that I need to do the um, uh, that challenge afterwards. Not tomorrow because tomorrow's Thanksgiving and I will not be streaming. So for those of you watching these videos later on YouTube, you'll still see a challenge as the next video. But obviously, for those of you following my streams, I will not be um, I will not be streaming tomorrow. So just giving you a heads up on that one. So repeating dynamic layouts. So repeating layouts are used to present list-based content. There are 2 repeating layout options: table layout and repeating dynamic layout. Generally, a table layout is for simple text entry controls, such as input fields or calendar controls. The contextual data is presented in a series of columns and rows. Like a spreadsheet, a table layout displays a data row for each item in a list and has limited responsive capabilities. The repeating dynamic layout option is more flexible and aesthetic format. Repeating dynamic layouts are better when you want to use the formatting capabilities of a dynamic layout within a repeating structure, to use lists to display a section for each item on the list. Each section can contain any number of layouts, and to include an image or other graphics, for example, an image of a vehicle or interactive map. The vehicle rental case type example shows available vehicles within a selected date range in a repeating dynamic layout. So there's, um, so here's your, uh, information about, here's your rentals, or, here's the possible rentals, blah, blah, blah. Repeating layout configuration and behavior at runtime. In a repeating layout, when you configure a single layout as template, Pega platform automatically applies the template to each item in the list at runtime. Check your knowledge with the following interaction. Okay, so drag the layout configuration, runtime behavior descriptions to the correct drop area. So runtime behavior and configuration. So add a single section to the layout. This section can contain any number of layouts. Okay. That sounds like the repeating dynamic layout before. Configure a header row with a single labels and a single data row with the fields you want to display on screen. That almost sounds like the table layout there. Pega platform displays the section for each item in the page list or page group mapped to the layout. Pega platform displays the data row for each item and the page list or page group mapped to the table. Hmm. That sounds like, I mean, one key difference that I'm seeing here. Okay, so Pega platform displays a data row, a section for each item in the page list, or page group mapped to the layout and table. Now here's the thing. This one is talking about sections, where you have sections here, and this one talks about data rows, which you have data rows here. Another example is the fact that you have table, and layout. So now, I mean, I could make the layout description here as well, but this one specifically talks about tables. So that's why I'm not really thinking that it falls into this category at all. So just some educated thought lines about that as well. Trying to see if I am indeed correct on you know reading the context and see if it actually works. So check and answer, and yeah, there we go. So um, but I remembered that the repeating dynamic layout had a single section to the layout, and the section contained any number of layouts. So um, so it was right up here. To use list to display a section for each item in the list, each section contain any number of layouts. So, um, let's see. So because of that, that's why I kind of set that one for the configuration and stuff like that. So obviously, Pega platform displays is a good thing to have for the runtime behavior because um, you're not able to configure anything during runtime. Okay, so adding anything or configuring is not something that should happen in runtime. It should be something that Pega platform, you know, does for you when you're running the application. That's it. So, um, so yeah. Okay, let's move on. Test my knowledge. We only have two questions here. Okay. So drag the appropriate repeating layout option from the bottom to match with the use case description on the left. Okay, so we have once again the table layout and repeating dynamic layout from before. So um, hmm, marked on a venue diagram, that might actually be repeating dynamic layout there. Because it typically has you know an option for having information, not only the ticket information here, but it also has like images and like associated with it. So view displays a company's product inventory. Products are listed by product code, name, description, and quantity. I mean, that could still be a table layout. A view displays a university's course catalog. The view lists courses by name, department, description, credits, and schedule. Um, I don't think you really need a repeating dynamic layout for each of these. So I think that should work. Yeah. Um, Now, if they were to show a little bit more, like what the product looks like, for example, that might be part of the repeating dynamic layout, because the product might change, you know, what you might be seeing in that layout. So yeah. Okay, moving on. You want to configure a view where customers browse for and purchase books. The title, image of the cover, price, rating, and other details for each book are displayed in the view. How do you achieve this configuration? Well, I mean, we want to use a repeating dynamic layout because of the image of the cover, right? So, yep, yeah. Repeating dynamic layouts are appropriate for displaying list-based information that includes images or graphics. So, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Now, unfortunately, when I clicked on the completed, it, you know, it took away how long it would take to finish this. Now, according to 8.8, it would take 10 minutes, which I only have like 10 minutes left before Blackheart will be joining me for on rail. But I think I'll have to save this until tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Friday, because I don't think I'm going to be able to go through everything here um, completely. So, um, yeah. All right, I think I'll just go ahead and call it at this point there, folks. Um, so we're just going to go ahead and just say, okay, that's all well and done. I know that it was a fairly short video for the most part. Looks like my recording time is about 35 minutes, but hey, um, this will allow for you to move on to other topics quicker. So uh, I say again, if you have any questions, if there's something about it that you're like going, wait, I'm not really understanding that very well, then feel free to ask it. You know, please. You know, do yourself a favor, and ask if you have any kind of, if you're not really understanding what's going on with this particular section or any of the other sections that, I've covered so far, then feel free to ask because, you know, getting it answered will help yourself out. The question will help me push myself as to, what I know. Um, and it potentially could help out someone else later on down the line. So it's really good, to be asking, these kind of Pega certification questions on these videos because if you have people that are, trying to study for the certification as well, then um, um, then it helps them out. Okay. Also, for those of you that might be studying for, the more advanced or, something that is older or not older, that, just recently came out, like you're studying the 23 version, okay? Um, then this is also a good resource in my opinion because one, I don't think they're going to be changing too much um, between 8.7 and 23. Okay, and I mean, obviously they're going to be adding new features and the like. Um, but they're not going to be um, changing already established concepts. You know, why? why why change something if it's not broken? Why fix it if it's not broken, right? That's the old saying, right? Um, so hopefully when you're going through these videos, not much has changed, but I mean, there's probably going to be some changes along the way, obviously. But hopefully this kind of gives you a little bit of an insight as to, um, where it was versus where it is. So, um, believe me, when I was trying to go for the Pega 8.6 when I was in training, um, I kind of wish that they had covered topics that were in Pega 7 because the certification test had keywords from Pega 7 in it, and that didn't really help me. That caused me to probably miss a question or two because I didn't know what keywords they were even describing because it wasn't the same ones as the 8.6. So that's why I'm like, um, another reason why I was never really that happy with the training that I received. Um, I felt that they could have done a better job. Um, I even asked them to put me back into the training again. I was willing to get that, minimum wage for another, you know, it was like I think 6 weeks of training, I think total for the Pega. Um, just to go back through it again with someone that was also, that was a, um, certified, to be a trainee. I was willing to do that, but they wanted us out as a contractor almost immediately. So it's just one of those things where it's like, what can one do? I mean, I tried to ask them to put me back into the training to get a better training so that I could, you know, get my Pega certification um, and all that. So, um, okay, so um, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the Pegasus video right here. But before, I'm obviously I'll want to talk with Blackheart before he gets um, before he starts up. But I want to thank you all for watching this video or this portion of the stream so far. Um, Stick around. Um, we'll see about having some more discussions with Blackheart and stuff like that. So, yeah, stopping recording.